Hi, my name is Reid Buchanan. I'm a grad student at Oklahoma State University, and what I study is free resolutions of monomial ideals. And so, modules have this stratified structure with it, and free resolutions are essentially a description of those modules. Modules can be, more complicated than others, but free resolutions essentially can be thought of as this description. Lots of areas that focus on modules are very interested in knowing what is the free resolutions of the objects that they're working with. Let's see. So in my case, I look at ideals over polynomial rings that are generated by monomials, and so there's a notion of a minimal free resolution, which is essentially a description that without any redundancies. So it's golden. You can tell a lot of information about the ideal itself just by looking at the minimal free resolution, but they're generally very hard to find. So most people look at specific classes of ideals and determine properties from those. I ask the opposite question. Given a property, what kinds of ideals have that property? What kinds of ideals have minimal free resolutions that exhibit that certain behavior? And so the way I do this is I look at a specific type of ideal called an extremal ideal, but it essentially represents all types of all ideals, and I keep track of what I'm doing to the extremal ideal to reconstruct the original. And those are conditions that cause that kind of complex behavior to arise. Uh, so there's lots of properties that I'd like to look into for future research, but specifically I'm looking at characteristic dependence. Ideals with characteristic dependent resolutions are very poorly behaved. They like lots of resolution strategies fail to be minimal for these types of ideals. So it'd be really nice to know when exactly does this kind of behavior happen, and that's what I've been looking at. And I have a way to given some sort of characteristic that you want, I can construct an ideal that is dependent on that characteristic, and this can be any characteristic you want, any combination of characteristics that you want, and I can produce one. But and I'd also like to. This is a current conjecture. Is my construction the most efficient or not? I will also look into that. But it's not just that property. I'd like to look at other properties. Anyway, that's what I study.